Hi everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. So today I want to continue on the speech tutorial, which is the grid generation. For this session of grid generation, I will divide it into two parts, in two separate video. First of all is the part 1 is a rectangular grid using the Delft Dashboard, and another one is part 2 is for the curvilinear grid using the Delft 3D RGF grid. For SBish, the grid is in 2DH. Okay, we can also do in 1D. The specialty of the grid is we can see it in 2D. So most of the time we will use the curvilinear grid. In special cases, okay, so we can also use the rectangular grid. The rectangular coordinate system for SBish, and the first thing that you need to understand about it is you need to know how to locate your X ori and Y ori, so the origin of the grid. So normally it will show the coordinate in the number is 1 1, so that is the origin of your grid. Okay, so this is the example of the rectangular grid. Here you can see also the example of the curvilinear grid. Today for this tutorial we're gonna use Delft Dashboard. Okay, so basically for SBish, in setup, we commonly use Delft Dashboard or Delft 3D. To install these two software, just go to our other video that shown by my other team members. Okay, so today we just use Delft Dashboard and also Delft 3D. Open up and wait it to load. After the Delft Dashboard is load, okay, first thing first, we need to set the working directory. Okay, to set the working directory, just click on File. Okay, select working directory. Okay, choose your folder that you need to work with, and then select folder. Okay, next is to choose the coordinate system that you want to work with. Okay, so for me, I will use the UTM zone. Okay, firstly, go to the coordinate system, select the UTM zone. Okay, all the model is okay, just simply click yes. Okay, choose your UTM zone. Okay, I will choose 48 now. Click OK. Alright, so here is our study area. Okay, before we go further, okay, firstly you need to check the model that we're going to use. Okay, for today we're going to use the Delft 3D flow to create the grid for SBish. Although here is also got SBish, but it is more tedious compared to the flow, because it also can make a model, generate model for you directly, but today we just going to create a grid. We are using the Delft 3D flow. Okay, so we're going to use the quick mode. Alright, so I will explain a little bit about the function of the quick mode. Okay, so the X origin and Y origin, as I mentioned you earlier, is the location of the point in SBish that we're gonna use to stimulate the wave for SBish. Okay, the M max and N max is the M is the value of the grid of the long shore. The M is the value of the grid in the cross shore. Okay, so the delta X and delta Y is the size of the grid. For example, here is 1000, is the grid size is 1000 meter. Okay, rotation is the rotation of the grid on this map. Okay, to create a grid, okay, we need to draw the grid outline first. Okay, so to zoom to the area that you want to focus on, okay, you can drag. To drag, you can hold on control and drag your map around. Okay, to zoom in, just scroll your mouse, okay, to specific location. For example, I choose here in this area. So use the mouse to draw the grid outline. Okay, so just draw. Okay, example like this. Okay, so for the X and Y origin is marked as a yellow marker. So now this is our X and Y origin. Okay, for SBH, the X and Y origin must be located at the offshore. So this part. Okay, so we need to rotate. Okay, to rotate, okay, you need to right click on the right any red marker here. Okay, right click and then just drag. Okay, rotate like so. Okay, to move the box, okay, the entire box, you need to right click on the yellow marker. Okay, and now we adjust to resize. Okay, okay. Okay, okay. The final product like this. Okay, next we need to create to make the rectangular grid. Okay, to make the rectangular grid, you need to click on the make rectangular grid. Okay, normally for the depth maximum, the Z value, I'll just simply put 20. So it's resemble the area here for the topography. Okay. Okay, I normally I also adjust for my X and Y value to 100. So just 100 meter for each area. It's easy to work with later on. Okay, after you already change everything, just click on make rectangular grid. So you name your file. Okay, tutorial. Okay, alright, that's all using the Delft Dashboard. Now we're going to proceed on using the Delft 3D, and then we need to adjust our grid using the RGF grid. So now we open our Delft 3D. Okay, we need to go to grid. Okay, we need to set our working directory first. Okay, just choose the same file as before. Okay, select folder. Okay, now we need to open the RGF grid. Okay. Okay. Alright, and then after we open our RGF grid, okay, we need to import and land boundary first. Okay, so click on file to import our land boundary. Okay, choose attribute files. Okay, open land boundary. Okay, here we have a land boundary, so just open. Okay, So our study area is about here. Okay, so next we need to choose the grid that we already do using the Delft Dashboard. Okay, just click on File, Import and Grid. Okay, like so. Alright, so next we need to check whether the X origin and Y origin is located on the offshore part. So to check, you need to go to the view. Okay, using the grid administration, choose the node number. So okay, now the value of 1 is located to the offshore. Okay, just close. Alright, okay, we can see here. Okay, for example, my study site is only from here until here, and then okay, so we need to delete a few grid that we have. Okay, for me, I simply go to block delete exterior. Okay, so you just simply click this part. Okay, you can go and then highlight, choose what area. Okay, one, using the right left click. Okay, and then when you already choose all your 4 corner, simply click on the right click. Okay, alright. Okay, now you have the boundary that you want to work with. Okay, so after we delete, normally we need to check it whether the one location is also included. Alright, so it's still here. You need to ensure every time you change your grid, this coordinate here must be included also. Alright, okay, next is we need to resize our grid. Okay, for SBH, normally I recommended the varying size of the grid is from 100 to 5. Okay, for the offshore part, the value is varying from 100 or 50. Okay, but when it comes closer to the shoreline, okay, because we want to study the morphology, so the grid here I recommended between 5 to 10. So to change that, because currently our grid is at 100. Okay, if you are not sure whether what is the size of the grid, you can go to anchor. Okay, to put the anchor, you just click on A. Okay, and then drag to the other side of the grid. So now the grid size is roughly 100, as accordingly you make in the Delft Dashboard before. Okay, so to change it, we need to edit the grid to refine it locally. Okay, to refine it, we can simply go to edit, choose rectangular grid. Okay, so we can refine the grid locally. Okay, but you can change if you just like simply click on a grid. Okay, for example here, it will divide it into 3 smaller grid. Okay, but if you want a specific value of the grid, because you already know your grid size is 100, so if you want to choose to small specific number, you can go to setting, choose general. Okay, in general parameters, you can change the value of n refinement factor or n refinement factor. For example, you have a 100-meter grid size. You want to change to 5, so you need to divide it by 20. So just put value 20. Okay, and then you need to choose which grid that you want to divide it to 20. For example, here until here. Okay, so the grid size here, if we check it, is 5 meter. Alright, so you change it all so that the grid size is varying for 100, 50, 20, 10, 5. Okay. Okay, so this is the output for product of the resizing of the grid. Okay, you can go and check. So I put it here is 50. Alright, because this is the where the location the wave start to generate, and then 100. Okay, back to 50, 20, 10, 5, 20, and back to 50 at the back, because this is the last area that change. For the end, for the cross along the shore also, I change accordingly to what I suggested for you, because I want to study in basically focus on this area, so that area have a finer grid compared to others, because we does not want the computational time to max up, because we are using a very fine grid size. Okay, after that we need to smooth out, because like we can see the patches of the grid size, and then this will have a certain error when you are running your model afterward, if you don't change it to a very smooth. So because like the how do you say, because of the wave propagation need to enter a very specific grid, so the differences, the big differences of the grid size can produce a certain error. So to avoid it, we need to use the grid smoothness. Okay, so to do that, just simply go to edit. Okay, choose the rectangular grid, use the line smooth. Okay, zoom out a little bit, and then just simply click on the grid that you need to smooth. Normally I just click everything. Okay, so just if already choose, click right click. Okay, it will make your grid much more smoother compared than before. Okay, so also you need to do it also here. See the differences. Okay, that is the finished product for the rectangular grid. Okay, if you have any to save your grid, just click on file and then export. Just export your grid. Okay, so total grid, rectangular grid. Okay, save. Okay, that's all for this tutorial. I hope that you stay tuned for the next video for curvilinear grid. Thank you.